Welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me is Vasil Shevchenko, former Transportation Minister of Ukraine. Vasil, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, you know, it was 4 years ago when Russia first invaded Ukraine. We saw over 250,000 troops were deployed on Ukraine soil or boundaries to attack Ukraine. And now, this morning, we can actually state for a fact that the war had taken a turn. What they had brought to Ukraine is now on their doorsteps. The Russians don't like it one bit. They're out of power. They can't make phone calls. And apparently, Putin's fame for this war, the polls are showing a significant decrease in the support for the war. And things doesn't look good. Would you care to shed some light on that?
First of all, I'd say thank you for paying attention. You have been paying attention us for more than 4 years, and you was recovery who was on our side. And thanks your team. And first of all, I'd say that now we can see that Ukraine forces received good chances to prevent Russia's opportunities to attack, because you know that Russia has big army and actually powerful army, and they have huge manpower. If they made decision, if they would make decision to start drafting campaign, but nevertheless, technology which were performed by Ukraine together with the partners and using different type new weapon managed us to prevent their going down inside Ukraine, to suspend their any attempts to go further, because they are still storming Ukraine's fortifications every day. Every day we can see more than 200, 230 colliding at the battle line, because they are trying to demonstrate that they are able to go further, but the situation is working differently. First of all, they can move ahead, but as usual, they can lose previously occupied territory more than, for example, they can take. And now we can see that Ukraine is changing the type of waging war. First of all, we can see that Ukraine has developed so-called middle strike drones and middle strike weapon, and now we are working at cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. Most challenging moment is to produce ballistic missiles, because ballistic missiles, as far as I know, has the same type of engine which would allow to intercept ballistic missiles which are launching by Russia Federation. And all these challenges are happening as a result of the number of Ukrainian defense forces hit inside Russia Federation. First of all, you know that Ukraine started imposing so-called sanctions for Russia's refinery, and it works. And now Russia have lost about 30% their refinery, and now they have no fuel for Russia military forces, for temporary occupied Crimea, and for bordering region with Ukraine, because Ukraine together with a partner has performed different type of drone which are working with guiding system connected with internet and without. First of all, here is being used artificial intelligence, and it allows to launch and forget. And drones are hunting Russia's trucks, which are transporting fuel for military forces, and transporting military vehicles. And now, according to the Ukraine's military forces officials' opinion, all these routes have been blocked, and now the only way which is connecting temporarily occupied peninsula Crimea is a bridge between Russia and Crimea, and now it's under serious threats because they know that Ukrainian forces can anytime eliminate it. And now we can see that many bordering not only refinery but many depots have been destroyed by drones and cruise missiles, because Ukraine have started producing its own cruise missiles, which have huge weight of explosive, and one missile can destroy the refinery or many plant on the whole. And now we can see that we are still suffering at the battlefield because of lack manpower, because Russia is storming very often every day, and at the same time Ukrainian forces have managed to prevent supplying these forces. Their logistical route have been cut.
Yeah, I want to ask this question because, and it's an economic question. I'm trying to figure out what position Russia is in right now, because we know for a fact that both the GDP and GNP were heavily blanketed by sanctions from the Western world. Beside that, we know they are losing the war. Now, the Russians no longer in a position where they are blind. They can see what's happening. They understand what is going on. Now, what frame of mind do you think Putin is in at this point? Do you think he's going to surrender or say, look, enough is enough? Zelensky was asking him up to yesterday, I think it was, to let's have a peace discussion. Do you think Putin is too bold-faced, or think he's ever so much that he wouldn't want to negotiate some peace treaty right now and call it quits? Or do you think he's going to continue fighting without anything? Because we had made a prediction earlier that earlier this year that by half this year, going on to the ending of this year, Russia's going to be flat out broke with this war. And right now, that's the trajectory it seems to be going in. What is your opinion on that?
I say that it will not have a direct impact for Russia Federation. It can cause him to escalate. And because of it, Ukraine's president wants that he can do differently. As usual, Russia is not interested in ceasefire because you know that their economy, which was rebuilt for military way, now can collapse because of rebuilding back. And now the war have made many new billionaires in Russia, and people have started suffering. But nevertheless, there have been formed military lobby, and he cannot sign agreement because he is not interested, and he I think don't think about it. He is thinking how to deceive, for example, Western countries, because according to my humble opinion, they will try to escalate, and according to their so-called media, because Russia has no media, it's full-scale propaganda, and they are spreading this propaganda around the globe. And for example, people around the world cannot understand how it can happen that Russia can collapse. But now we can see that Russia's economy is at the brink of collapse. They have no chances to transport their natural resources, because China is interested in providing their goods and using not only Russia but Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan for transporting goods from China to Europe, to Poland. Poland is main terminal for China's goods, and Russia's railway transport assets are involved in servicing, in maintaining this project, and because of it, Russia cannot say to China no, and now it's blocking their opportunity of export. And them using pipelines, they are trying to export more and more oil, because more oil they want to have extra profit because of high prices for crude oil, and they are trying to transport. But to point from Baltic Sea and Black Sea. Black Sea is partly blocked by Ukrainian forces, because Ukraine can prevent this export if it's transported by, for example, ships or tankers which are under sanctions. And the same situation in Baltic countries. You know that Russia wanted to hold so-called economical forum, during which few hours before start, Ukraine forces inflicted serious hit their seaport and terminal assets, and it prevented their chances to export, to gain exports for oil, and they haven't received enough profit. But nevertheless, they have huge number of income from Far East exporting oil. Oil is being transported by through pipelines, and pipelines allow them to have independent sources. And now we can see that Ukraine forces are capable to inflict serious blow inside Russia Federation in Siberia, where is so-called cross, where different type of pipelines are crossing, and the same place, if Ukraine forces would hit, can be prevent full exports from Russia Federation. And now we can see that Ukrainian drones are hitting farther and farther, and it allows us to have the terror economical development. But Russia is not under serious threat. The only thing that lack of fuel have caused a lot of so-called protests, because people are spreading their opinion in different social media and spreading their unsatisfaction runner. But we must know that Russia has really powerful law enforcement body inside Russia Federation, and they will prevent any protests for current time before Russia has enough profit from different oils. And it means that any negotiations with their current so-called president are impossible. He will imitate, he will try to cooperate, but it seems to me it's only action for distraction and action to distract our partners, because partners can think that Ukrainians have received the domination, but it is not right opinion, because Ukraine is capable to hit, to fight, to resist their resistance, but Russia is still being powerful. And in this case, we would like to have partners support. Now, for example, we can see that United States President has changed his opinion concerning Ukraine's future in this war, and many top military United States and European officials have expressed their opinion that Ukraine has domination at the battlefield, but it must be developed, and we must work harder and harder just to deepen this success, because now we can see only current events. What will happen next, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One question I want to ask here. I heard Zelensky trying to have this peace treaty and so forth with Putin, but do you think it's too premature to ask for a peace treaty at this juncture? Now you're gaining so much success in hitting Russia. I think Russia has to learn their lesson. Its citizens have to feel what they're doing to other people. I think with that experience from Russia, then they will get the full understanding, listen, this is not the right leader for us. If they want a world that they can live free and comfortable like any other person in the Western Hemisphere, then they should see and feel what they're doing to Ukraine. And they're now starting to learn that and understand it. I just think they need to understand it some more. And Russia needs to get a good whipping a little bit more so that they could get in their minds, or Putin can get in his mind, that you just can't go around trying to claim someone else's land because you think you are entitled to it. So that's what I'm asking. Do you think it's too premature at this juncture, even though it may be costing Ukraine now? Let it go on a little bit more. Do some more damage to Russia. What do you think?
I think that Ukraine defense forces will still hitting, and you know that Ukraine's president informed that he has launched 40 days operation for attracting Russia to peace treaty. But nobody knows how it will work, because you know that Ukraine's president is good in his speeches, and he has good background, but nobody knows what will happen next, because, for example, now we can see that Ukraine can launch more drones to hit Russia's military plants and objects and refinery than, for example, can do Russia. But nobody knows how it will work, and nobody knows consequences. We hope that they will understand and they will follow the idea concerning signing treaty, and now we can see that situation is slowly changing, because before Ukraine wanted to stop their offensive operation and to sign peace agreement or fixing at the current battle line, but now we are not ready. We are ready to speak that they have to liberate Ukraine's territory on the whole, because we have advantages, and it means that they, for example, if Russia forces are not capable to deter, and it means that Ukraine have chances to take it back, and it's easy. Now we can see the strategy which was used to liberate Kherson city. Now the same way, but using those time it was using artillery, long-range artillery, and sometime aircraft, because we didn't have and we haven't received enough aircraft to have domination in the sky. And now we can see the same kind of strategy is being used to block Crimea, and Crimea is blocked because the only bridge doesn't allow them to provide fuel, food, water, electricity, etc. And now this Ukrainian peninsula is partly blocked by Ukrainian forces, and now we can have the negotiation. But according to the if this person is has idea to have this agreement, he should do it in 2023, 2025. But now, when Ukraine's forces opportunities are growing, we can discuss about liberating our territory on the whole. And it's quite difficult, and nobody knows how much time will it take, but it's a moment which is challenging for Ukraine. And now this moment is being discussed because we don't have enough manpower, but technology is changing, and very often the situation which is happening at the battlefield can help us, and we hope it will happen. But Russia's officials are fully unpredictable, because from time to time we can hear their propaganda opinion, and I'd say that it's most powerful weapon. They are spreading lie around the globe, and this lie is mixing with truth, and them is spreading around the globe fully distorted. And I'd say that it has happened many times.
Would you think Ukraine will try to reclaim Crimea once again? Obviously, it was taken illegally by Russia. Would you all take back Crimea?
Now we can see that chances has spiked, because now, thanks to many military actions, for example, they have lost their air defense. You know that they mostly have transported their air defense systems to defense Moscow, and nevertheless we can see that Ukrainian drones are still penetrating to Russia's territory, and very often are bombing military object inside Moscow and close to the Moscow, and we can see that their defense system, air defense system, is not capable to intercept Ukrainian drones which are flying at the altitude up to 20 meters. And as a result, they have transported, and Crimea has become opened for any hits. And as a result, the Ukraine forces using different type, mostly it's middle strike drones, have managed to prevent supplying any necessary needs. And it means that Russia is not able to provide this peninsula. They have no enough forces to defend it and to provide population who are there. And Russians who came for summertime to Crimea have no chances to go back, because trains are not working, traveling by car is impossible because of lack of fuel, and they have higher prices for food. Very often the supermarkets are empty, and it means, according to the situation, Ukraine can tell that we have fire control above this peninsula. And it means that it's Ukraine's territory. We haven't, we didn't recognize this occupation, and we didn't recognize occupation part of Ukrainians' bordering territories. And now time will show, but. We have a lot of challenges. First of all, to hold economy, to develop military industry, to form and hold and drill military forces, soldiers having a lot of drilling centers for preparing, for example, drones operators, because now we have drones, but we must have many operators, because now is a line of fighting is long, and we have many drones, and it's really expensive to drill operators, to have good experience, and but nevertheless it works, and we can see that results have been demonstrated by Ukraine is good for speaking that Ukraine have good chances to liberate occupied by Russia territory on the whole.
Yeah. Do you by chance think, and we're down to the last 2 minutes, by the way, do you think that for some unexpected reason, if Putin comes to his senses, that he will capitulate and say, you know what, enough is enough? I think I had it with this war because it's causing damage now to my people. Do you think he will have that kind of sense to say that, or he's just an upright tyrant?
No. I say that they have no any similar idea, because they don't care for people opinion. They have no election according to the Western standards, because all this election, it's games for Russians, and nobody knows what will happen, and because of it, public opinion means nothing. When we are listening any polls from Russia Federation, you couldn't believe, because it's lie. Nobody knows the actual situation.